it's funny. I read this in the screenwriting book. There's a part that says every character should have like the same inner want or something, you know, like the same deep goal. And in Night Nurse, I think it's that everybody wants to take care and they want to like, they want to take care and be cared for. And I think it kind of like makes the film have this like dreamlike feeling, where every character wants the same thing. And I think it's like they're all part of like the same psyche.
How did you prepare mentally for shooting your first movie? And did that end up actually being helpful?
I'm just the kind of person that's like going until we do it. So I think I don't know if I successfully prepared in that way, but that's okay, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. You sat in, right?
I sat in for part.
When you were watching it just now, sitting in this theater, was there anything new that occurred to you? Like, what was going on in your mind? Were you paying attention to the body language?
Well, it's a very sweet crowd. A lot of dear friends are here. I appreciated the cheering at the beginning. That was quite sweet. For people who don't know me, they probably said, "What's that about?" But that was very, very sweet. And honestly, I thought the screening room is really nice. The sound was perfect. I thought it played beautifully.
It was nice in here.
I want to say what she won't say, which is that she will look at every single corner of every single shot to see if there's a missing pixel, if something's a little like quiet. So I'm sure she was
And what would
really
you do
Hawkeye
if there
watching.
was a dead pixel?
That's a great question.
Would you?
I stopped the screening.
I'd scream and say, "Stop the screening! I'm getting off the plane."
No, I sing every word of the movie, and like I when I watch it, it's like a song that plays, and I just say every word out, like I mouth it. And that is my experience of watching the film. I have no ability to really to see it at all.
It's a good sign. Good sign. Good director. By the way, these questions that I have on note cards, feel free to answer them however you want, and it's for everyone. Okay. So it's conversational. Well, some of them are specific, but feel free to cut each other off.
And Mimi sat through the whole thing, so.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was telling Georgia, this is the third time I've seen the film, and I haven't seen it since Sundance. Physically, the look and the sound was better in this theater than in Sundance, which was kind of cool. Like, it was really playing beautifully here. And then I was telling Georgia in the hallway, for some reason, maybe because I've seen it before, the story seemed to progress a lot quicker for me than I was used to. But I was just sort of entranced at how beautifully it was playing here.
Yeah. This film circles themes of control, attention, manipulation, and performance, not unlike the dynamic between, say, director and actor. How did you find yourself needing each other throughout the process? Were you surprised by how much power you had or how much you gave up?
It's a great question. So to give the audience and the people that don't know me personally here some context, Cemre is my closest friend, and I wrote this part for her, and so making this film, she is by my side, every step of the way for this film, and in fact she's one of the only person who knows every scene number by number. And when we were editing, I could describe to her, like, in scene 43 we had to do this, and she was like, knew exactly what we were doing. throughout the whole.
Because I also don't like. Sorry. I don't like watching myself. So if in the edit Georgia wanted to ask me a question, she'd like have to describe what's happening. And if we were gonna do like a pickup instead of like watching the scene to figure out what's not like what could help, she'd like describe it to me. So you basically say it in this way, and then Mimi responds in this way, and I think we need. And then I would just picture it instead of, which now is talking about that sounds really stupid. I should have. It sounds really inefficient. I should.
She's never watched the film. She just has a description of the film.
Yeah, in my head
to her. But sincerely, Cemre is an amazing performer, and it was a real pleasure to work with her in this way. And I feel like sometimes we say we had like an unspoken thing on set where I would sometimes I would give her a note. Sometimes I would just be walking over to her and she would be like, I know, and then I would walk back. So it was like really very like telepathic.
And speaking of control, I love being told what to do. Genuinely, this is not a joke. So it's actually a perfect situation
it's a perfect
for
dynamic.
me. Yeah,
and it works well for us.
When someone tells me exactly what to do, it's awesome.
Is this what women want? This movie? I forgot I wrote this one down.
This is what some women may want. We will be visiting them in their hospital later.
That's a really good question.
Answer however you see fit.
Yes, this is what women want.
Okay.
Yes.
It is actually related to my next question, which is how would you characterize the chemistry you were looking for between the two leads? And since you had anchored the movie already to Cemre, how did you think about what you needed Douglas to be? And did you run through a lot of options and like what was like an example of a type that really didn't work?
That's a good question. So there's several answers I want to give, but I think one thing is that I wrote every part in this movie. I wrote it for the person that played the role, including Mimi, who plays Dr. Mann, and Jem, and Eleanor, and Colleen, and but the role of Douglas, I didn't write for anyone in particular because I didn't know Bruce and I didn't have somebody in mind for that part. And so I would said to myself, like, okay, I'm writing just like Cassavetes. He's just like, like a really charming, fabulous guy. And then I had a friend who I read the script and she was like, when we were casting for Bruce or for Douglas, that's funny that I mixed it up, is that we did like we did like a wide casting process for him. And when I had a friend who read the script and she was like, I know someone who like is perfect for this part. And it was like so it was perfect.
It'd be funny if it was like my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all in the eyes,
dad.
I feel, with him.
And when I met Bruce, he read the script and he like was very sweet and put himself on tape. And he just like had something about him that was very, I liked that he brought, one, like so much of himself, but also just like he filled out the character in a way for me that made it very real. And I think the type that doesn't work for this part, to circle back to the second part of the question, is like, I don't think this film works if it's like, a movie star who everyone
agrees is hot.
Because I think that that's important to the film, is that he is like, the whole idea of the film is like, what is it like to get sucked into a toxic relationship? And I think it sometimes people are like, this guy. And
Seriously? Yeah.
and I wanted it to kind of feel that way. And I think, the movie's kind of like about what it's like to get sucked into like a bad relationship or like a cult-like situation. And so I didn't want him to be like so, I guess, yeah.
Right. Also, I guess the balance of senility and lucidity, like you want to kind of be able to buy it when he's sharp and with it, and buy it that like maybe he forgot what was going on.
Yeah, I wanted it to feel real in that way.
There is sort of an awkward flirtation among not just the two leads, but seemingly every character in the movie. Almost like a contagion of sexual tension spread within the facility. Was that on the page, or did it become more the language of the performances when you were shooting?
I think it was both. In that I wanted, it's funny. I read this in the screenwriting book that this is like not, I don't know.
Which one?
The 90-day.
90-day screenplay?
You know that one?
Of course.
Have you read it?
I've looked at some of the days. I just flipped open in like 34 or something. Keep working on it.
Yeah, keep going. The 90-day screenplay book. And in the book, it's funny if someone were to like fact check this. I'm like, is it even part of the book? There's a part that says every character should have like the same inner want or something, like the same deep goal. And in Night Nurse, I think it's that everybody wants to take care and they want to take care and be cared for. And I think it kind of like makes the film have this like dreamlike feeling where every character wants the same thing. And I think it's like they're all part of like the same psyche. This is my analyzing of the movie. What do you guys think?
Well, I think a lot of it, there's a number of factors that it comes down to. Our DP, Lydia, who I think did a brilliant job, there's a sensuality to the way it's shot, starting with, the water in the pool and the close-ups of the telephone cord. So there's a sensuality, I think, built into the way it's shot. And one of the things that I appreciated about the whole story is there's ambiguity kind of everywhere. Even with Dr. Mann, like you're never quite sure where somebody's coming from. And there's an interesting like cross-connection between care and control, and how much of the sexuality comes out of control issues. So I think, starting with the way the film was shot, there is kind of a through line with all the characters, and that any one of us could be going either way. Maybe this is an infection that started with me. Maybe this is...
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
this
honestly
is what
kind
I
of
do.
what I thought when that sort of was revealed in a scene. I was like, oh, it's like coming from the top. Everyone is in on it, I guess.
It's a big sex cult.
Yeah. And there's only one guy really at the center of it. All the other old guys at the facility are like, what the fuck? Can I get some? So I need to be washed. They're all partying with Bruce / Douglas.
You don't know what they're doing in the other houses.
Totally. There's a ratio of 20 nurses per patient.
That's what's so great about this.
For Mimi, having worked with many directors, what would you say stood out about Georgia's directing style? And knowing her as a person, did you already suspect she might be a certain way as a director?
Well, that's an interesting question because I've known Georgia most of her life. But what I was very kind of happy and excited about when we got on set is she had such clarity. And as Cemre mentioned, as an actor, you really want somebody in charge who knows where the train is going. And I was both happy and impressed to see that Georgia was like very clear, very specific. She knew exactly what she wanted, and very calm presence, not a lot of, emotions going up and down or panic or anything, just a lot of clarity. So as an actor, it was really kind of great working with her. And I thought her direction, like the direction that she gave me, it was kind of a collaboration, but she would have me try things a different way. So yeah, it was great. It didn't feel like a first time.
Aw.
Thanks, Mimi.
Sure, George.
Yeah, I feel like with first movies, like you either cast it right or the movie's fucked. And like there's no such thing as replacing an actor on an indie movie or, really like forcing a performance out. It's either the first couple of takes work and then you can experiment and find new things. Was that sort of your experience that like, thank God that I cast this with people I know that I have a shorthand with? Yeah,
definitely. Everyone, I think like our whole team, including like behind the scenes people or behind the camera, were all people that I had worked with before, and I felt it was a really supportive group, and yeah, we also did some rehearsals that I think really helped, specifically with the scenes between Cemre and Bruce. We filmed all the intimate scenes our first week. And like we did the scene in the kitchen.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah. It was actually a scheduling reason, but it was, I'm glad that it was that way, because it was, I think it kind of like set the tone for the whole thing. And we did like one of the hardest scenes like on the second day. So.
Icebreaker. Yeah. Cemre, was it difficult to find a way into this character, or was it something you found naturally? Something that struck me about your performance was, the ambiguity of her intentions moment to moment. Was that, you sort of, that she's after something, but you're not totally sure what it is or what she's getting out of it. Was that something that you discussed beforehand?
I guess I do think it came easy to me, and I don't know. I think I got it in a maybe not like a logical way, but in like an emotional way, perhaps, those things. And I do think the move it's a lot about like, I want this. Should I want it? Should I? And I think that's like probably a very relatable feeling, and like hopefully. For me at least, like some of that, like what are the intentions comes from that, like the push and pull between wanting something, I guess that's not probably right for you, that and to a certain degree, and then just like fully giving yourself over to it, I guess eventually.
Right.
But I guess
Or like the idea that you've already gone in too deep with something that you don't feel comfortable asking yourself whether you want it anymore. You just have to double down.
Yeah, it's like this is what we're doing.
I do want to do this.
This is what's
otherwise
happening.
I have to question everything that I suppose that's in the text too. That idea.
Yeah, I think she's like, her character kind of like is on a path, and she has to see it through. I think sometimes. I think there were two choices for her character: either like become disillusioned and leave, which wouldn't be interesting or fun, and or like or become the cult, basically, herself, is kind of how I viewed her arc.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is the answer ultimately?
I can't answer the question of the film. That's against the rules.
That was a test. Making an indie movie requires finding creative solutions to the very concrete constraints of time and money. Were there any decisions you made under that pressure and limitation that actually made the movie better than if you had had the resources? And if you had had more resources, how would you have spent them?
That's an evil question too, the second part.
You don't have to answer the second part.
Erase the second half. We shot the film in my grandmother's real house, and the movie is based off of a scam that actually almost happened to her. So it was like, there are these two very sweet things. One is that my grandma was almost scammed, meaning like someone called her pretending to be my brother, who's here tonight. And he said that he had been in a car accident, that he needed help, that he needed money. And my grandma went all the way to the bank, and the bank tellers told her it was a scam. So that was sort of like the seed for the movie. And then I was living in Chicago, and I was writing the script, and I was like, I'm gonna just write it to shoot in my grandma's house, because I'll have like total control, and I can.
Is that what you like to have?
No, I don't.
Has there ever been a situation where you have willingly given up control to someone else? Other than right now?
This is the first time ever, except to my own mother.
I forget what the actual question was.
Well, you're asking like what we like practically, like how did we make the movie? That's how I interpret it. So
the constraints.
the constraints.
Oh yeah. Was there anything where you made a decision because you didn't have enough time or money, and it ended up making the movie more elegant?
Well, so we because we shot in my grandma's house, is why I brought it up, is because
Right.
I think that wasn't. I was coming back around to it. Is that my grandma's house to me like really represents like the tone of the movie was born out of this house. It was like it's this little house in a neighborhood called Northbrook where all the houses look the same, and she moved in like the 70s or the 80s, and there was like that's the decor. It's like matching wallpaper and like couches, and then so it's like super 70s inside, and then she has like a flat, over time she has a flat screen, and then she has like a last gen landline, and it was like this, and then there's like real contemporary cars outside, and it was this idea that like we don't know what time period we're in, and all the places makes us feel like we're stuck in this place, and we could go round and round in the pool forever. That's like what I wanted it to feel like. And so like this practical thing of my grandma's house like really was like the whole thing. That was like the whole movie.
Cool.
Digesting.
What was the hardest day on set?
I'll let Cemre or Mimi take this one.
I didn't really have any hard days.
We tried to have a nice time. One day, actually, my producer brought hot chocolate for everyone. It was kind of like, that was more like the energy. It was like,
And donuts.
and like, yeah, treats.
I remember donuts.
These
But-
things go a long way.
Yeah. I think it was just even like from Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh my God, can I tell a random story
Yes.
of my set?
Please.
I just remembered that one day, someone, like one of my producers was like, it'd be really meaningful if you, Alex, like got something for the crew, like a special surprise. So it's like, okay, we're shooting this like birria taco scene in the movie. I'm gonna get a truck for everyone for this day.
So fancy and
Not,
fabulous.
this is not about how great I am. But so on that same day, the catering didn't communicate with me. So they all made birria tacos on the day, and then like my truck pulls up with like infinite birria tacos, and no one ate any.
And they didn't know that it was like.
And they didn't even know it was
they
from
couldn't-
me.
they
So
thought
it was just
the
like there's
catering.
double tacos that some are slightly better than the other ones.
Which ones were better? Like
The truck.
the truck.
That's a sad.
But a lot of people
sad
saw it walking back from catering.
Right.
So they had just got done eating slightly different birria. Anyway, just, nightmare set experiences.
I think the hardest day for me was when I did the scene on the balcony looking out over them driving, and we had to go to that building.
We made her look directly into the sun.
They made me look directly into the sun, which was very painful. But I also had to commune with the people who lived in that apartment.
Oh.
And we actually made her live there for a while. For
The people
to
who
prepare
lived-
for the role.
The people who lived in that apartment were letting us use the balcony, but they also wanted to chat.
What was their, what did they want to talk about?
I feel like they were Eastern European or something.
Okay.
They wanted to talk about movies and acting and what I'd been in, stuff like that.
You're like, yeah, I was in that. No, I wasn't in that one.
But it was very sweet. But then I would have to go on the balcony and look into
and
the
look
sun.
directly into the sun.
Yeah. You were caught between two terrible options.
Blinded.
Yeah. Cemre, what was your?
I guess physically the prologue was really, or the opening credits was actually, one thing
She
when they're
almost
like,
lost her arm.
well, because when you say like you're gonna have to stay still for a long time, you're like, oh, easy. But then like you're in an awkward position and it was so sensitive. It was physically challenging.
So the context
So
is
it
that
was
for
like-
the opening, we shot that on with using this thing called a robo arm and a probe lens. And the robo arm is it's programmed with code, and then it moves like with code. So she couldn't move because it was programmed exactly to her. So we were like, just stay there, and she had like her arm up like this
For 3 hours.
six
And you
hours.
see the
6
footage
hours.
and you're like,
Oh
it's
my
just on the
God.
cord?
And then we actually tried to.
I knew.
Yeah. It was
The robo arm.
robo arm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They're very expensive.
Is that what they use for the beginning of Midsommar?
I don't know.
That one's wider though, from my memory. But
You could-
what do
yeah.
I know? I don't know why I'm so talking.
No. Okay. Well, thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah.
Really awesome.